Hey, welcome to part 2 of this bear tutorial. In this video, we'll do the muzzle, the leaf, ears, stem, and final assembly. We're going to start on the muzzle using medium weight yarn in the color of your choice and a US E crochet hook. First, we're going to make a slip knot and then chain 5. So now we have 5 chain stitches, and we're going to start in the second chain from the hook. And we're going to do 3 single crochet back along the chain. And I just like to put a stitch marker in the first of these. Now in the last chain stitch, we're going to do 3 single crochet into the same stitch. And now we're going to work on the underside of the chain. So we do 2 single crochet. And then 2 single crochet into the same stitch. And now we finish off by doing a slip stitch back into that first single crochet that we marked. Now I'm going to move the stitch marker to that slip stitch. The first stitch of round 2 is going to go into the single crochet after the stitch we did the slip stitch into, so that's this one here. And we're just doing 10 single crochet around. Then we can remove the stitch marker and close with a slip stitch. Cut the yarn, leaving a tail for sewing. And there's the completed muzzle. Next we're doing the ears, and we're using a medium yarn in the color of your choice and the E crochet hook. And we're doing 8 single crochet in a magic ring. Pull the ring tight, and then we're going to do a slip stitch back to that first single crochet. Then we can cut the yarn, making sure to leave a bit of a tail. And you'll be making 2 of these. Now we're going to do the leaf, and we're still using the E crochet hook and medium weight yarn. Start with a slip knot and chain 5. Make a slip stitch in the second chain from the hook. Then working back across the chain, we make a single crochet and then a half double crochet, and then into the last chain stitch we're going to do 6 double crochet. Now we're going to work on the underside of the chain. So first we do a half double crochet, and then a single crochet, and then we finish with a slip stitch. Then we can cut the yarn, leaving a tail for sewing. Next we're going to do the stem in medium weight yarn with the E crochet hook. The stem is crocheted directly onto the top of the head. Insert your hook at the top of the head and pull through a loop. Then we chain 7. Starting in the second chain from the hook, we do 6 single crochet back along the chain. Now we can cut the yarn and pull through the tail. And tie these 2 tails together securely. Thread the tails into a yarn needle and insert the needle just under the stem and pull that knot into the body. So I like to start the assembly with the legs, and these are going right at the bottom over here. First, grab the tail from the magic ring and insert that where you want the leg to go. Then we're going to use the other tail to sew the leg in place. We'll stuff the leg before we reach the end. First, grab a stitch from the body and then go up into a stitch of the leg and down into the next stitch of the leg, and then grab the next stitch on the body. And repeat this almost all the way around because we do still need to stuff the leg. Just keep checking as you're working to make sure the leg is still in the right position. Now we've got a few stitches left to do, and we're going to insert the stuffing. and then we sew up the last few stitches. Once the leg is securely attached, we can insert that yarn tail back to meet the other one, and then just tie them together. And now we're going to do the second leg exactly the same way, just making sure that it's symmetrical with the first. Now we are going to sew on the arms, and I like to put them about 4 or 5 rounds down from the eyes. So same as before, we grab a stitch from the body and then go up into a stitch of the arm and down into the next stitch of the arm, and repeat this across the top of the arm. You can also grab a few stitches under the arm and then go back and forth with the yarn a few times to secure it. Then you can bring that yarn tail through to the back of the body. And now we do the exact same thing with the second arm. Now we're going to sew on the muzzle, between the eyes and down a little bit. First, take the tail from the magic ring and insert that where you want the muzzle to go. Then we're going to sew it in place with the other tail. If you can see a bit of a step change where we finished crocheting the muzzle, you can take the yarn tail and insert it into the next stitch of the muzzle like so. And then go down into the next stitch of the muzzle. And now we can sew it in place. And we can sew it on exactly the same way as the other pieces. Just stop before you reach the end because we're going to insert a little bit of stuffing. Keep checking as you're working to make sure that it's still in the right position. Before you reach the end, insert a little bit of stuffing, and I like to use the back of a crochet hook. Now we're going to sew on the leaf. And first I like to take the tail from the tip of the leaf and weave it back towards the base. Using the tail at the base of the leaf, grab a stitch next to the stem. And then I like to go into a few stitches at the base of the leaf and back into the head a few times to secure it. Once you're happy with the placement of the leaf, you can grab the tail from the starting chain and just weave that back right to the base of the leaf. Then we can tie the two tails together and insert the knot into the body. Now we are going to sew on the ears, and I like to start with the ear 2 or 3 rounds down from the leaf. Once you have the ear in position, you can grab a stitch from the head. Check that you're still happy with the placement. And then I like to go over a few stitches on the base of the ear and on the head to secure it. You might need to go over these stitches a few times to keep it secure. And then, just like with the leaf, I like to tie the two tails together. And now we're going to do the second ear exactly the same, just making extra sure that it's symmetrical with the first. And now lastly, we're going to embroider the nose. And about 30 centimeters or 1 foot of medium black yarn should be plenty. To embroider the nose, I like to go over a few stitches right on top of the muzzle, about 2 or 3 times until it's thick enough. And that is your bear completed. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed the tutorial, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and make sure to hit that notification bell.